Prior to the NAR settlement going into effect in August of 2024, the buyer agent would rely upon advertisement of compensation on the MLS. And that offer, if accepted by bringing a buyer to the settlement table, they were guaranteed that that amount would be contributed from the listing broker to the buyer broker. But as we all know, after the NAR settlement went into effect, no offers of compensation may be listed on the MLS at all. So now this document would be required to facilitate this more traditional compensation method, where before the contract is signed, everybody would need to be aware if the listing broker was compensating the buyer broker. So if the seller wanted to offer this incentive and this help with closing costs, they would fill out sections 1 and 2. If working with a buyer broker, which is an agent that filled out their buyer agency agreement with their buyer, the seller may agree to offer some percentage or some flat rate to that buyer broker. They may also contemplate providing such help, assistance, and compensation to a sub-agent. Remember, a sub-agent is a buyer's agent that basically didn't get the buyer agency agreement signed and is therefore actually a sub-agent of the seller. So in either of these situations, if the seller wishes for their broker to compensate the other side, they would fill in an amount here. Let's say they put in 2%, 2.5%, whatever the parties agree. Now again, this is the listing broker compensating the buyer broker directly. So this is not actually even a part of the contract of sale. This is a separate agreement between listing broker and buyer broker. And importantly, basically everybody signs this, agents, buyers, and sellers. So it is a completely transparent way for seller side to compensate buyer side. Now keep in mind, this may not be uploaded to the MLS. Remember, cooperative compensation may not be advertised in the MLS in any form or fashion. So this document would really be for the listing agent to hold on to. And if a buyer is interested in making an offer, the buyer agent should call the listing broker and inquire about potential cooperative compensation offers. If they ask if the seller is willing to cooperatively compensate the buyer agent, the listing agent would just be able to provide this piece of paper that says, oh yes, in fact, the seller has already agreed to contribute 2.5% towards the buyer side. So if this is signed off by everybody, it will be compliant with the NAR settlement agreement, and it is a fully transparent way to facilitate compensation.